Hello and welcome to the program. Ukraine is one of the largest countries in Europe, and the roads, therefore infrastructure, should be in good condition to deserve that kind of size. Unfortunately, it's not exactly the case. So what is the real state of Ukrainian roads today, and what are the government plans for building, renovating and investment? To discuss this topic today, we're being joined, and we'll discuss this by Viktor Dovhan, Deputy Minister of Infrastructure of Ukraine. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So let's start with an overview on the state of the road now. And apparently, first, there is apparently a national transport strategy in 2030, if I'm not wrong. Can you tell us more about it?
Absolutely. We developed the new national transport strategy and implementation plan, which says that we need to invest 50 billion euros in the period from now till 2030 for complete modernization of Ukrainian infrastructure. And this year, the state road fund started functioning. We have 44 billion Ukrainian hryvnia. Next year we'll have around 70, and in 2020 the state road fund will amount to 100 billion hryvnias, which will be, let's say, very good basis for the road construction in Ukraine.
Now, these are numbers, and there's of course the money that is going to be invested. It's not the first time that kind of investment has been put in place, but anyone who drove in Ukraine can see in the reality that it's not necessarily applied. How to ensure that this money goes to renovation of the roads in Ukraine? And this renovation is important because it leads to security problems and stuff.
The point is that basically we missed almost, I would say, 5 years in road construction recently, what I say. For the last 5 years after the final of the European Championship in 2012, we almost forgot to finance the road construction. You see the roads which were built for the European Championship, the international transport corridors connecting the city of Kiev with Lviv, with Kharkiv, with Dnipro, with Donetsk, which is, yes, almost not really, actual right now. The first Ukrainian so-called highway, which was built in 90s, Kyiv-Odessa, is almost ruined. So basically, we started from the ground zero. 2 years ago, statistics said that only 5% of Ukrainian roads are according to standards. 95% are out of standards. So we started to invest, but imagine then when we started the office in 2016, in the first half of the year, in June, we had 14 billion Ukrainian hryvnias for the road construction, and we paid half of it, 7, to repay the loans taken for the European Championship. So the money, this amount was really peanuts for the road construction. Right now we have the sustainable, since 2 years we have the sustainable, and we built almost only 1,000 kilometers. Last year 2,500. This year will be 3,500. So we started sustainable repair, a capital repair of the country.
That's an interesting topic that you raised here. The last time the roads were renovated was in 2012. So shall we wait for another big event of such to be entirely renovated?
No. Right now it's a priority of the government and its initiative of the Prime Minister, of the President, because, as you recall, the Great Depression in the United States was overcome basically by building the roads and railways in North America. So the model is taken, the money are invested, we have sustainable financing, and we'll have new roads. And you can see it in Kyiv, in different regions, the roads are being built, the quality is better, and the people feel it.
Yeah, but if you allow me saying that, of course, this investment and those roads in certain part of the countries are being built, but it's also by the decision of local and thanks to the decentralization and local powers in place. So should there be like a whole, how to ensure there is a whole central politics about the road and not necessarily, for example, if I drive from Kiev to Lviv and find a really ruined road and then just a really perfect road. How to ensure uniform and standardized one?
Okay, this year in January we started the reform because before it was done from the capital to the region with distributed finances, and local authority basically they didn't take part in this process. They just monitored. Right now we provided out of 100%, we provided 30% to the local authority. At their discretion, they pick up the roads, which is the most crucial, critical in this region, and they build it. So they have the money, they have the responsibility. We, as a ministry and Ukrainian Road Agency, Ukravtodor, are responsible for the 50,000 kilometers of the international transport corridors, which means the biggest roads. Kyiv, Odessa, Kyiv, Lviv, Kyiv, Chernihiv, but these small regional roads, village roads, complete discretion of the local authorities.
So it leaves entire regions out of the map of modern infrastructures, that's what you're saying?
No, it provides to the regions the new sources of financing. Before they, look, for instance, we'll take like the region Cherkasy, for instance, yeah? Last year it had 300 million Ukrainian hryvnias, which is what? Which is 10 million US dollars. This year, the financing is doubled. It has 600, which is 20 million dollars. And they are pretty happy and they will do more. So they double the financing, they will double the efficiency.
Now, there is another problem and issue to raise with that kind of investment and being investment, how to ensure when you give the money to certain power, even though local or not, or certain authorities, how to ensure that this money doesn't disappear.
We will strictly monitor the process. Again, there are media, there are NGO, which are basically financed by the World Bank, by USAID, by European Union. They do the projects, they monitor. We always have the inspection with the Ukrainian Road Agency on a monthly basis to different regions. So there are, no, first of all, it's a political responsibility of the local authorities to build the roads. And then we, of course, we try to control them, because otherwise they will not be re-elected. It's like that. Before they told, look, we are good, Kyiv is bad because we don't have money. Right now, they have money and they need to do it. And if they want to be re-elected next year, they will do it.
So, okay, so my understanding is that there are two levels and two levels of authorities here, and that the central ministry just gives the money and then just tell them to do whatever they want with them?
Basically, with the local roads, they have full discretion, absolutely.
And that's exactly my point. Like, maybe we can go further. How to ensure concretely, not by media, not by NGOs, is there the possibility of an independent organism to ensure? That's
a good question. We want to establish, as it taken is in the European Union, the FIDIC standards, when you have independent engineer consultant. Unfortunately, FIDIC standards are applied only when you have the international financing, World Bank or EBRD financing. National financing from the state budget, FIDIC is not mandatory. We want to do it on a legal basis, but so far the legislation
because this
is
money
missing.
Comes from international donors, so it should be monitored from the beginning until the end.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this interview. It was a pleasure to have you in the studio. It was Viktor Dovhan, Deputy Minister of Infrastructure of Ukraine. Thank you for watching the program. Stay tuned for the rest.